I'm going to be speaking about my good friend Yoichi Izawa in Japan. I believe some people in our field have met steel pan players from Japan or have seen videos of Japanese steel bands or Japanese steel pan player performing, but I often feel that a lot of people don't know much about steel pan in Japan in depth. So I'm hoping that you will get to know a little more about steel pan in Japan through Yoichi Izawa's work before the pandemic and during the pandemic. So who is Yoichi Izawa? He's a performer, he's a band leader, director, composer, arranger. So he performs a lot of solo, duet, and he performs with panists from different parts of Japan, but he also performs with many instrumentalists and vocalists. So I have 3 short clips of some of the groups that he performs in. The first one is called Piakopan. You may be able to guess by looking at the instruments that instrumentalists that he plays with. Pia stands for piano, ko stands for accordion, and then pan. So Piakopan is the first one. The second video is Canto de Hua. I'm just looking at, okay. Canto de Hua, which means street corners in Portuguese. And in the video, you will see Yoichi playing at a street corner in Japan. So I thought that is just really nice, made me homesick. And the third video is by OTSK, and that stands for Ore Tachi Saiko. Ore Tachi Saiko, meaning we're great. And this specific group was led by Asami Nagakiya, who was a friend of mine, and some of you may know that Asami tragically lost her life in Trinidad in 2016, and they stopped performing together for a while, but they're now performing again. And all the music for OTSK are written by Asami. So here are the videos. So Yoichi plays a lot of written pieces, and he also improvises. So here is the steel band that he founded in 2008, YY Steel Band. And what is so unique about this steel band for the first 10 years of the beginning of the steel band is he invited performers from different parts of Japan and be a part of the steel band. So before the pandemic, he used to tour throughout like everywhere in Japan, from the north of Hokkaido to south and probably Okinawa, and then various islands. We have 6,000 islands in Japan. So he's traveled, performed, met people who are interested in playing the steel pan. So what he did was he would send music and he would have them participate when they have a concert together, or when he tours, he will go there and then he'll perform with the YY Steel Band members in various areas. And that ended in 2018. The final concert, he was able to gather 79 Steelpan players in Japan. So currently they have 13 members, but during COVID, for various reasons, the number went down to 6. They have released 3 albums. And I'm going to show one of the videos that they created called Points and Lines, which was produced in 2020. I'm not going to show the entire video, but this video is so well done. So I just wanted to show what happens at the beginning. This Points and Lines was written by Akio Watanabe, who you see in number 1 playing the ukulele. At first, I wondered if that was the quattro because quattro is used during parang, used for parang during Christmas season in Trinidad, but that's a ukulele. But I immediately thought of the Christmas times in Trinidad. He then is joined by a steel pan player who's playing pan around the neck, and that's actually an old style pan, so it doesn't have the resonance like the modern pans that we are accustomed to today. And they are then joined by Yoichi playing the guitar and the percussionist playing the pandero. And number 3, they play and walk around and they arrive at their panyard, which is something that you don't see in Japan. The majority, or probably all steel bands in Japan practice inside. So to see them going through this like alleyway kind of and reaching the panyard made me think of panyards such as Phase 2 or even Silver Stars. You just go through this path and then like boom, all of a sudden you see all the pans or like you see people performing. So number 3 just reminded me so much of Trinidad. Then number 4, they are joined by other band members and they start to sing together. So here is a part of Points and Lines. So watching this video missed me home so much. I haven't been there for 2.5 years because of the pandemic, but this video I thought was done really in a clever way. The quality is excellent. There's a storyline that tells, one person playing and being joined by other players. And then they go to the panyard and they all play together. And something else that I thought was clever is the simplicity of the melody line and the catchiness of it. So when they perform this song for audience members, they will be able to participate. And as performers, we all know how important it is to try to bring audience together. Okay, so Yoichi also has created YY Panyard. And I remember when he first created, it wasn't a panyard at the time, but what he wanted to do was to create an atmosphere where steel band or steel pan and his city would be closely connected. I remember meeting him in 2006 when he visited here at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, Illinois. And when he visited Trinidad the following year in 2007, playing with Starlift Steel Orchestra, he mentioned that, you guys have great things. You guys have steel bands that are really closely connected to your community. And I want to create something like that. So he did. So he started out at a cafe, small cafe, and he had 2 or 3 steel pans, and he would have kids come and just try it out and then play some simple songs together. That's how it started. So he is based in Tokorozawa, Saitama, which is pretty close from Tokyo. And he currently has 7 classes. for adults, four for like junior high school students, and one class for toddlers. And when I was speaking with him earlier this week, he was saying how much he enjoys working with kids. And I think that really shows. And he has a class called Tenor Panyard. And that is for people who want to learn how to play solo. So through those classes, he teaches, just different methods and technique, improvisation, and so on. And he holds workshops, and he utilized single pans, which I will speak about later on. So before COVID, Yoichi was super, super busy. He performed about half a month, traveling throughout, different parts of Japan, and taught more than 10 days a month. He wrote music, but he has a family, so a busy, busy person. And I decided to put some pictures that I found on his Facebook page that looks pretty Japanese, and I thought that might be kind of interesting. So COVID struck in March of 2020, to be specific, for people here in the United States. And I think, many of us can say it's the time that we don't want to remember, but Yoichi did so many clever things. So I'm going to share what he did. So this on the right side is from his website. On part of his website, he keeps his blogs. And the bottom two, one of them is from 2018, and then the other one is from 2019. And everything else is from 2020, and then 2021 and 2022. So as you can see, he documented so much of what he did. And he did quite a bit. And this wasn't everything that he did. That's just part of the, bigger ones that he did, like playing at Blue Note Tokyo, stuff like that. So just to summarize what he did all of those things, created his model pan sticks. He released an album. He published music through Mao Music, which is based in the United States. He performed for other people's albums. He performed remotely and in person once he was able to. For the first 2 to 3 months or so, people could not gather. So he definitely utilized Zoom very much, and taught via Zoom, and sometimes, did performances, live performances virtually, just like many of us did. And he also created triple dual roll pans. And I'm sure everybody's like, what is that? And I didn't know either. And I will, talk about that. And also can steel pans. So triple dual roll pans are created by Akihiro Ikuta, who is one of the only steel pan builders and tuners in Japan. There used to be a main steel pan builder and tuner called Ryo Sonobe, but now he is focusing on hand pans. Yoichi wanted to create single pan band in Japan, and there may be one or two more that exist, but for multiple reasons, single pan band makes sense in Japan. If you have been to Japan and if you're familiar with urban areas, spaces are very much limited. We don't have much space. So to have a single bass, to have a single guitar, you don't have to worry about finding a space to store. So that made sense to him. And also for his YY Panyard students, younger students, and if students were not up to just learning, say, a tenor right away, then they could just work on the bass, single bass, and it wasn't as intimidating. And if you look at it, the skirt of the single bass, which is the layout is like a tenor bass, the skirt is short, meaning shorter kids can also play, even though like I love seeing little kids in Trinidad play like this junior panoramas and whatnot. So triple dual roll pans were created because Yoichi wanted to create a solo instrument that covers a wide range from bass clef up to treble clef. So he had Akihiro to create single pans, and he combined them together. And during the pandemic, he utilized it so much more by creating accompaniment. And I haven't seen a video of him playing this as a solo instrument, adding like, okay, so Kadesh, I see you. So let me just keep going. And I'm just going to show some videos. So space is limited, so you can use bass, cello, or guitar and still perform in Japan without hauling bass pans and cello pans. All right, so here are can steel pans. So this is something else he did during the pandemic. For those students who didn't know, didn't have an access to steel pans, he created these for them so they would be able to play pan at home. So each tuna can is tuned, and he was able to set them up in a way that, like tenor pan style was created, double second style, cello style was created. And it's quite simple to make. And he gave me permission to utilize this for my workshop last year or 2 years ago, and it worked really, really well. So here's an example. Right. So, yeah, thank you so much for organizing this conference today, and thank you for watching. Something I asked Yoichi about, like something he wanted me to say, is he realized how valuable and how precious it is to be able to perform with everybody in person. But at the same time, the technology that we were able to use during the pandemic, doing things remotely, brought the world closer together, just like what Dr. Granger was saying. We were able to create something like a virtual steel band. And the last thing he wanted me to say was, please come to Japan and play. So thank you so much for your time.